Hi everyone, I'm Francis Otshudi, the CTO at iExec, and today we're going to have a role play, and we're going to put ourselves in the head of a surgeon, and we're going to be dissecting a trusted AI agent. Just before we dive in, I'm going to quickly introduce iExec. So iExec, we are the trust layer for AI. What we do is that we provide an infrastructure which is based on trusted execution environments. And on top of that, we provide developer tools to very easily integrate that technology into AI use cases. iExec is about ownership, it's about trust, and it's about monetizing the entire AI pipeline. Very quickly, we raised 8 years ago 10K Bitcoins through the ICO. We were the first to provide trusted execution environment coupled with the blockchain. We are partnering with Intel and NVIDIA, I don't know for how much longer. And we, last year, onboarded about 60 developers on that technology. So why does AI need trust? I think the talk just before was a brilliant introduction to mine. It's very obvious that today we are delegating a lot of things to AI agents. We are delegating to them maybe sometimes our financial life. It's going exponential. Everybody, is on that hype of agent, and it's very fair to rely and use those agents to make our life easier. Yesterday I was chatting with a guy with a very cool use cases on running an AI agent to do market making on crypto. So that's going very far. So there, I believe that the trust would be key, for that kind of use case. When you look at privacy, there's a study that says that 40% of companies who engage with AI and agents had data breaches, or they didn't know exactly what was going on with their data. When you look at the end users, 70% of them, they just don't trust us. They just don't trust our AI ecosystem on the way we handle and what we do with the data. So if we want that business or that economy to take off, we need to address the trust issue. So, and what if that was possible today? What if trust could be built in natively into our agent solutions? What if it could be privacy by design? What if we could verify the autonomy of that agent and the fact that nobody can interfere with the expected behavior? What if it was not relying on a single point of failure, running on a decentralized infrastructure? And what if it could be monetized in a fair way? That's what we're going to be looking at, as if we were surgeons dissecting an AI agent, a trusted AI agent. So we'll be looking at 6 organs, 6 body parts: the skeleton, the nervous system, the heart, the skin, the brain, and the veins, the circulatory system. Let's start with the skeleton. The skeleton is the backbone, it's the tamper-proof foundation, and what we see when looking at that trusted AI agent is that it operates in a trusted execution environment. So TEEs, for those who don't know what it is, it's hardware-based solutions to protect the execution of an application, and in our situation, of the AI agent. And what we see when we look at our AI agent, when you look at the skeleton, we can see that the skeleton is running on a decentralized infrastructure. Next, we have the nervous system. The nervous system is the verifiable, what brings the verifiable autonomy. So what we want to be sure is that when that trusted AI agent is running, no one can go and change the conditions for it to operate. So what we have is on-chain governance. What we mean by that is that on the chain, we'll be setting in stone the conditions for which we engage and started that AI agent. What we want to see also is what were the actions that were taken by that agent, and also we want to see that on-chain to be able to verify that it behaved on the way we expected. And finally, that is very important to ensure that even though the agent is running in a trusted execution environment, we want to be able to have the proof that it's actually running there when I'm interacting with it. So there must be a way to get attestation of the fact that that agent is running in that secure enclave. The heart is the core of trust. So it's basically the concept of confidential computing and trusted execution environments. So what does that bring to us? It's two key elements. The first one brought by trusted execution environment is the guarantee that the agent cannot be tweaked, modified by anyone. The second thing that it brings is the privacy around the data that the agent is manipulating. So all the prompts, the inputs, the models, anything that the agent needs to function properly is secured and nobody can go and fiddle with that. The skin, it's a privacy shield. So the skin can be seen as the interface between the agent and the external world. And what we see when looking at our trusted AI agent is that that entire communication or interface with the external world is protected and encrypted end to end. So any data that is stored, transferred to the agent, or used by the agent is totally private and nobody can access it. Then we have the brain. So the brain is what you guys are doing. You're building that intelligence already. But what we see when looking at our agent is that that intelligence is decentralized. So the logic is executed off-chain inside those trusted execution environment that bring the confidence that nobody can tweak our agent. We can see that the agent intelligence is triggered by what's happening on chain. So all the conditions for it to operate, what are the inputs, what is the model, whatever keys or private keys, for example, do I need to use to operate? All that is set in stone on the blockchain and nobody can go and fiddle with the conditions that we define for the agent to run. And again, we can see that that intelligence is tracked and written on chain also on the whatever action the agent is taking. So the circulatory system, the veins, so that's decentralization, and it's very obvious what decentralization brings to us. So no single point of failure. If my agent failed on one node, it can go and start again on another node. So what we want to alleviate is what we see right now, relying on a sole provider for the AI environment and the AI infrastructure. With a decentralized computing infrastructure, you can have the guarantee that your agent can move from one node to the other if a specific node doesn't behave the way it should. So, as a recap, what do you see? We have 6 organs when we looked at our agent. The skeleton, trusted execution environments. The nervous system, it's cryptographic proofs showing that our agent is behaving autonomously without any human intervention. We have the heart, which is the confidential core, the skin, end-to-end encryption, so that's the interface between the agent and the external world. We have the brain, which is your use case, which is running on a decentralized infrastructure. And the veins and the circulatory system, which is decentralization brought by the blockchain and a distributed computing infrastructure. So one call to action for you guys building those very cool agent and those very cool use cases. There's probably a way, and we know there's a way to do it in a way that is respectful of your end users' data, keys, private keys, in a way that is respectful of the model as well. There's a way to run your AI agent workloads within a trusted execution environment. As an example, at iExec, we run ELISA OS with DeepSeek within our infrastructure, which is again made by a network of TDX, Intel TDX machines. Our approach at iExec, is not new. We've been running that infrastructure with privacy at the heart, ownership at the heart of the solution for a long time. But what we see is that our value proposition now is relevant for the AI use cases, and we are at the intersection of a decentralized computing infrastructure and the AI pipeline. So on the AI pipeline, you have different steps. The first one is to train a model. Even there's a way to do it in a better way, in a way that the contributors, the dataset contributors can be rewarded or incentivized for their contribution. They can keep the ownership of the data sets, they can contribute and still keep the ownership of the data sets. And when it comes to inference, as we saw just before, we can operate within those distributed infrastructure using TEs. So, as a conclusion, what's coming next for iExec, and that's really relevant to you guys. We just launched an AI grant track. So if you are building AI agents and if privacy ownership and trust is relevant to you and is a focus for you, you should talk to us. We announced last week the launch of our ecosystem fund. So we'll be making dilutive and non-dilutive investments in AI projects as well. I mentioned ELISA OS and DeepSeek that's available and running in our infrastructure. And again, we'll be focusing in the coming weeks in how to make our technology available to a wider developer audience. So we'll be talking to L1 and L2s to bring that capabilities, that processing capabilities to them. So that was me. Thank you very much for listening, and don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.